Hello and Happy New Year everybody, it's me Harry Kalymnios from thethoughtgym.com, and the reason I'm saying Happy New Year even though it's over a week into the new year is because unfortunately technical difficulties, I wasn't able to post last week. So this is my first video of the year and therefore I'm saying Happy New Year. I hope you had a fantastic start to the new year so far. And in this video I want to share with you something that I'm going to take on board this year to help make those New Year resolutions or New Year's goals. We all set them and often people may have even given up by now. But this is one thing I want to share with you because often we set way too many goals. Like we say to ourselves, this year is the year that I'm going to get that promotion and I'm going to get a new job and I'm going to get a new house and I'm going to get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. I'm going to finally get in shape. I'm going to do all these amazing things. And too often, there's just too many things that we just can't do all of them. And so that led me to share with you today something that I'm going to take on board, which really came from a book that I read called The One Thing. It's this one here, The One Thing, and the premise is really quite simple. In fact, it's all on the title. And it's about getting to the one thing that you need to do, the doing of which, or the completion of which, makes everything else either easier or unnecessary. It's quite important, the wording with that. So what's the one thing that you can do that makes everything else either easier or unnecessary? So what's maybe your one thing for 2015? What's the one goal that if you achieved it would make everything else easier or unnecessary? It gives a story in the book actually of when Steve Jobs came back into Apple in 1997. Apple apparently had something like 380 product lines that they were invested in. So much split focus, there was no way they were going to be good at anything. And then he trimmed that down to just 10 things. So really narrowed it down into just a small segment of what was currently going on. And what happened? You got the iMac, and then eventually his one thing was the iPod, then it was the iPhone, then the iPad. So he had one thing that he focused on, laser-like focus. And that's what I implore you to do this year, is what's your one thing for the year? Just decide what it is. Okay, this year it is about getting into shape, getting my health on track, and then break that down. So what's the one thing that you need to accomplish in 6 months, and then in 3 months, and then in 1 month, and then each week. So you can say, what's the one thing this week I need to do? What's the one thing this month I need to do? And you can break it down, and everything else, that will come. In fact, read the book, you'll understand it a little bit better, but everything else will come as well, but just what's that one thing? That's my invitation to you this week. Decide what your one thing is for 2015 and share it in the comments section below. I'd love to hear how this philosophy of living or this philosophy for 2015 is going to help you. Please do remember to subscribe and I hope to hear from you very soon. Until next time, take care and remember what your one thing is.